Okay, so we're talking about the transference of energy from a paranormal location into a fixed object, such as a structured talisman. So in the Grimoire of Arts, there's the spirit traps that I use, okay? The way that you prep this talisman is to create a vessel that's receptive to all types of energy and indiscriminate on the intangible energies around, right? So it's built upon the principles of the planets or the location or the individuals who live there or all of these different factors, right? All these different reasons why the energy that's being attached to this object here comes from the environment that it's built upon. So that as it transfers form from free energy into a fixed static form, it allows for us to be able to basically isolate the free energy particles that are moving around and give it a fixed structure so that we have a seal, we have a talisman, we have a doorway that we are creating
Right.
that anchors that energy down. So in those paranormal locations, which you're just describing, like, would you go over that again? Like this, where those are perfect use items in.
When talking about an energy, and especially like tangible, plausible energy, it's almost like when somebody would go into a haunted location and they would be like, "Oh my gosh, like the atmosphere is off. It's the temperature is cooler. Like the feeling you get is like eerie. You know what I mean? Like you're unsettled. That is energy. That's your body energy saying, look, something's not right. You know what I mean? Like be on guard. Even as much as like, say somebody goes in and they get touched, but there's nothing there. That's the plausible, tangible energy that I'm talking about. Like it manifests to the point where it can touch you and you felt it. Okay. That's the energy that we work with. That's, one of the energies that we work with. So, being a witch, a warlock, sorcerer, magi, whatever you want to call yourself, once you get familiar with these energies, they're so much easier to be around and understand. Like going into haunted locations are just fascinating to me now because I expect to be scared. You know what I mean? So I look for like where they're hiding. Where would they hide in the basement, right? Let's go to the basement. You know what I mean? Like let's get that. It's almost like an adrenaline rush. I want that feeling. I want to get touched. I want to see things. You know what I mean? I want to play with that energy. That's why they call me the divine sorcerer. I play with it. You know what I mean? But that's the energy people don't understand. The energy that can actually manifest and touch somebody, and they're like, whoa, and there's nothing there.
Yeah.
That energy exists. And that's the energy that, we look for, we play with, we understand it. Just like I went over in the Hermetics course that I put together for you. There's all different kinds of energy. What I named, I think there's like what 8 or 9 different energies that I named.
Right.
So
Just to start.
right, that's just the start. There's many more, and each one has a different feeling, like a different texture almost. And when we're working in our craft and we got our candles set up and we got our herbs and our sigils and our runes and our gems and our cauldron going and the candles are lit and we're calling forth that energy. You know, just because you can't see it does not mean that energy. You can't see energy unless it's in a cord and shocks the shit out of you or something. You know what I mean? Then you can see energy. The energy that we consider paranormal is an unrecognizable energy. It's a force that can't be seen because our eyes can't see in that viewpoint. You know what I mean? Like when we go ghost hunting, we need an IR camera, an infrared, because our eyes can't see past infrared. You know what I mean? We need something to see. That's the energy that's around us 24 hours a day. And people don't understand that. They walk around doing their business, doing that and this and living their life, but they're not understanding that you could walk outside and walk down the street and you've probably already passed about 5 or 6 entities unknowing. You've passed 4 or 5 energy points and you're not even aware of it unless it's like really malevolent or something and you get sick to your stomach or start feeling like things ain't right. Hair on the back of your neck starts to stand up or hair on your arm. That is energy. Why is the hair on your arm standing up? Because the energy is close to you. It's magnetized. What is it called? Magnetism. because we are energy. You see what I'm saying? Without this vessel, we're energy. We're that same energy. So we don't, per se go back to God. We go back to space. We go back to that realm that human eyes can't see with the rest of our ancestors. And, that's how the paranormal works.
Right. And when you're constructing these kind of ritual objects, right? And you're anchoring a form to the formless, it allows you to neutralize the disruption in the space. It allows you to ground that energy out through a fixed form and understanding where you get these intangible concepts that you're ascribing fixed form to. And so in the same like manner that you can ascribe the form to it by your words and the vibrations will so fix the form of all the other intangible energies in that space to that object. So your will and your word becomes the same as the command that follows through that same flow line of energy. So as you're bringing forth the intangible concepts of power as you understand them to be, through your words, through the seal that sits before you, and into the gateways and such that you open up as a direct result of those powers, into that it also flows, right? Because you can create the inverse flow, positive, the whole shebang, right? And so this is how, as paranormal investigators, we can go in and actually negate or neutralize or deal with and handle respectfully these intangible energies, but they do require an assumption of form, power, and energy that allows us to understand the magic as we know it, the energy that's capable of manipulating the environment in the accordance with your will, as magic is defined by Crowley.
Right.
Crowley.
Yes.
But these are the kinds of things we have the opportunity to go further with. Right. And this is why this is a never-ending study, but it's also an ever-growing study because there's applications beyond what is known today or what even will be known in 20 years' time.
Right.
And
that's all because witches aren't being hung and burned no more.
Right.
We have that opportunity for our, and so we should, we're accomplishing things today that they wanted to back then, but they couldn't because of society and being burned and all that. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not like that. We're living in a different time. We don't need to hide our craft or our practice or religion or faith or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? Every woman is able to do their craft their own way.
Right.
And so they should, like you should be able to, okay, I did a summons and I called forth so-and-so and it was awesome. You know what I mean? My ancestors would be proud of me and they're sitting back there clapping like, yes, it's our blood that went through the generations for him to do that. Right. He's listening. He's not, weighed down with society's thoughts and stuff. You're working on you. And that's why it's important, to work on your craft, to be better than the ones before you. Because the ones before you gave you the blood to do what you're doing now. And so you should. And, that's how I found my path. That's how I realized I was the divine sorcerer. I have a whole bunch of ancestors behind me just, come on, dude, get with it. You're so much smarter. Stop watching Beavis and Butthead and get the fuck up off the couch, and when I did, and I started to read and educate myself, and I started to learn the mathematics of the magic and putting everything together and seeing the outcome of, what I was doing over this last year, like 9 months to a year, it was enough evidence for me to know that I was on the right path. I was being guided by the gods. Like, I'm here for this reason. I'm not being stubborn and going with my own shit now. I'm doing the work that I was set here to do. And it is so much easier when you just stop going against the gods and start listening to the gods and work with the gods and do what the gods want you to do. You know what I mean? They've been lost and forgotten. Society has covered them up. All they want is recognition. They want you to know they're real. They're very much real, guys. Very much real.
Outstanding. Thank you, Mike.